Well, hello and welcome to the channel. It's Dave here again, the fat lad on a barbecue, and tonight, Sunday, I'm going to do a little bit something different. I'm going to be making this up as I go along, but it's dedicated to all of my friends that are either in Lanzarote at the minute or go there for holidays or who I meet there. It's a bit of a Spanish effort on the kebab on the Thuros. So let's get on with it. So yes, chicken tonight with Canarian potatoes and Canarian vegetables, kind of Mediterranean vegetables to go alongside that, and it's all going to be done here on the Thuros. So I need to get some heat going here. So we need to get the chimney running and the charcoal also running. Probably need to wind the windows up a little bit, and we'll get it all going and see how it comes together. We've got some other bits and bobs in the gazebo tonight as well, and I'll show you them as we go along. But at the moment, what I want to do is get this charcoal running. So let's do that. Back with you when we've got the Thuros running, the charcoal up to heat, and the kebabs and everything sorted out. I'll show you the prep for the chicken in a bit. So as you might well be able to see, what's going on now is I've opened the side of the gazebo, these plastic windows that we have that roll down like roller blinds, and the idea is just to be able to let a little bit of the draft, a little bit of the smoke go out there, and then we can see what we're doing. It's more kind of open air, so as it should be, really. Just get that levelled off. That's lovely. So that should take care of itself, and it should all work just nicely. In the meantime, I'm going to start prep on some chicken and some spuds and some veggies. Let's see where we get with that, shall we? So what I've got down here is a new purchase. I'll put this pan out the way. This would be one of these here portable gas stove jobbies, a camping gas stove, behind which is nestled a gin and tonic. Cheers. Very nice. So let's fire this up. That's it, it's running. So that can go there. Now, one of the things about Canarian potatoes is that they're usually boiled in seawater. So I'm going to replicate that with a shed load of salt. Get that in there, really salty water. Get that in, let it go, and then the potatoes can join it fairly shortly, as it were. These are the potatoes I'll be using. They're just an ordinary mini potato, steam or boil it, so that's exactly what will happen. They'll go in there and that'll make what we want, so that's good. So yes, the charcoal bed is now sitting in the Thuros, that's doing fine. So now what I need to do is just prepare the chicken, and it's basically going to be just a methodology really of putting a rub on them, getting them ready, and then on the way we go. These are just thigh fillets, and the water for the spuds has come up to temperature, so that's excellent. So we'll tip a few spuds in. So the potatoes that have just gone in will now effectively boil dry. That's what's going to happen. So with the chicken, I'm just going to pull these thighs out. And what I want to try and do is to cut them to a size that's going to give me more or less an inch square. Come back to you when I've got them all done. Right, now with the chicken cut to size, I need to make a rub. That's the next thing, and that's going to be some paprika, some ground turmeric, a little coriander, again ground, and salt. Now the gloves can come off, because after this it'll be hand washy time. So a chunk of salt in there, and then all I'm going to do is toss the chicken in that rub so that it gets a good coating all the way around. The chicken itself is quite damp, and then it'll get pushed onto the skewers, and you can see what's going on here. Just give it a good toss. I want to leave it to absorb flavour, let the salt do its work. So that's that, and this is how it works. They're a flat skewer of these, so it should make life a little bit easier to do, to just toss it on. And it'll be fairly thin. It's not like they're going to be big cubes, if you know what I mean. So the idea is going to be to cook these in such a way that my darling wife enjoys them, I enjoy them, so it's just thoroughly enjoyable. So it's in and out, waving it on, and again I'll come back to you when I've got it all done. So that's the two kebabs stacked, ready to go, which is good news. They should be absolutely fine. They'll take about 15 minutes to do on the barbie, and that should get it all sorted. So we need to wait a while because the potatoes are boiling away quite pleasantly. Let's lift the camera off and I can show you exactly what's going on. We have taties bubbling away there, and that, as I say, is going to pretty much boil dry. I might have to knock some out, but you don't know. Over here we have the Thuros working its way nicely. That's a lovely heat. That's going to be a smashing heat. It'll be an absolutely smashing heat. Beautiful. And here we have the kebabs, nicely marinated and just getting themselves ready for when we go. So the only thing left to do is going to be to sort out the veg for the stir fry Mediterranean thing, and that's what's going on over there as well, by the way. So yes, let's give you a look as to how this all works. So here we are with the cameras and the lights, and I'm over there, my Kamado's here, out there is the garden, and there's the plastic things that roll down, and it all looks rather nice, and it makes it easy enough to work with, so that's all good. Right, I'll come back to you when we're a bit further on. Right, so while we wait for the potatoes to get where they need to be, I'm just going to make a start on chopping the veg ready for this kind of little vegetable medley, and it's very simple. It's going to be a little bit of onion, so this is dead easy done. We just chop it to bits. Where's my bin? All done very simply, fairly rough choppage. So let's go. So that's the onion ready. That's as much as it's going to get. I want it fairly coarse, I don't want it too fine. We're going to use a bit of pepper. So let's whip the top of that off. Go around the inside, get the corey pithy bit out. And I'm going to want this It's a bit soppy at the end. I'm going to want this pretty much in strips. I'll just pull that pit out, because you have to take the pit with pepper. See what I did there? Take the pit with pepper? Yeah. So right, carry on stripping it. This is just going to be, there's a proper name for it, but I can't remember what it is. We'll have the bits off though. I do like the bits coming off. Waste not, want not, as they say. I do like red pepper as well. So again, strip this. Let's just pull this off. There you go. Now if I wanted to be really clever about it, there we go, that's that stripped and ready to go. If I wanted to be clever about it, I would probably use a chunk of garlic, but I don't want a lot of garlic in this one. So just take the root of that off and chop it. I always find the easiest way is just to go like that. Fairly rough. Same with the next one. Root off. Half it. And then through. And that should do it. That'll be nice. So we're now waiting to see how the spuds are doing. I'm just going to have a quick prod. We've got a little way to go yet. We'll let them carry on, and then what I'll probably do, because there's still quite a lot of water in there, I'll team some out and then just let it kind of go dry, as it were. Now it's going to take 15 minutes, as we said, for the chicken to cook, and I'm thinking if I get my timing right, I can sort this out. So let's get the chicken and get it on the barbie. Okay, so time to put the chicken on the barbie. And what I'm going to do just before I drop it on is to piddle a little oil along the top of it. Not a lot, just enough so there's a bit of free fat working, and that should just bring it on nicely, as they say. So let's get the first one on, and I'm going to stick it on this bit here, and that will go in that way up, and we'll put the next one in at the front. No, we won't. We'll go second in. That'll go that way up, and then that's it. We're running. It's working. We should be getting barbecuing going on. There'll be the odd little flare up. That's fine. I don't actually mind. I may need to space them out a little bit. We'll see how it goes. But the beauty about the Thuros, as I've said in an earlier video, is this twisty bit, which means as I push it forward, it rotates. So you can, yes, it's going to need to be in two separate ones, David, so that there's space. So we should now have cookage going on. That's all fine. The spuds, that's all fine too. So I'm going to time a little bit of the water out of there so that I can get them to dry off a bit. That's it. So there's my spuds with less water in. The spuds can go there, they can keep cooking. So now we can get to the veggies. And I'll bring you over so you can see what's going on there. Spuds are fine, the chicken's fine. Veggies. Oh, juggling, we're juggling. It's all good though. Right, olive oil. A chunk thereof. First in needs to be the onions. I'm just going to chuck them in and let them sweat. Right, so sweating down. And then in with the peppers. A little more oil, because olive oil is lovely. So a little more. And then, as always, mustn't forget salt. Good chunk, not too much. And chuck the mushrooms on top. And the only thing I forgot to bring is the lid. I'm going to lid this off and just let it, after I've stirred it around a little bit, just let it stew down so it cooks for the next quarter of an hour or so, and that'll be that done. So yes, we'll put the lid on. That can sit there, that'll cook away and it'll be grand. Meanwhile, I shall just shove this chicken forward a bit, and we'll see you a bit later on. Just done a check and we're at about 45 degrees on the chicken, so we've got a good 5-10 minutes left. And these are wilting down, coming together really rather nicely. While all this is happening, let me tell you why Lanzarote. I've been holidaying there now for well over 20 years. I love the place, I absolutely do, and I love the food there. And it's quite simple food, unless you go somewhere well posh. And if you've seen any of the stuff I've posted up on Facebook, you know what I mean by well posh. But Lanzarote, I mean, the kind of indigenous food would be goat, I suppose, and rabbit. That would be where it's at. But they do get through an awful lot of chicken, eggs, peppers, potatoes, onions, all of that kind of stuff. So this is just basically, it's inspired by them. And as I say, dedicated to my friends who are at the moment stuck in Lanzarote on complete lockdown. Lads and lasses, you can do this in your self-catering apartments. You can do this, you can do this. It's dead easy. You don't need barbecues, you can just do this, it's easy. You do it on the grill in the oven, under the grill in the oven. Let's have a quick check and see what the internal temperature is. We'll be able to say we're at 66, 68, 70, 77.5. So once we get up to 70 degrees, 75 degrees, we're done. So I just need to check that we're at 75 all over. And we need a little bit longer, just to be sure. It's a minimum of, you'd never think it, but it's pitch black out there now. And I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, there wasn't enough room to get the pan on here with the chicken, and in order to get the veggies done I've had to chuck the pan inside where Jill is now boiling the water off, and she'll be bringing that out in a bit when we're ready to show you what it looks like when it's done. Right, I'm just checking the chicken, see where we're at. So that's over 75. Right, so Jill having brought the potatoes and the chicken being done, let's get it out onto the plate and then I can show you what the whole meal looks like. Alrighty then, let's begin with the potatoes. Now these are, I would say, Canarian style potatoes. They're very, very salty, which is the way you want them. That's the way they're supposed to be. So we'll just put a pile of them down here. And as you can see, the skins have gone slightly wrinkly. Papas Arrugadas is the name, or wrinkly potatoes. So there's the pile of tatties down there. That's good. That's where we want that to be. So we'll put the pan out the way. Next up, we have our veggie bubbles. We have the vegetables that have been doing in the frying pan, and all I'm going to do there is just put a nice pile of them on the plate. This is going to be a sharing platter. Nice pile on the plate there. Excess oil stays in there. So there we have the potatoes and the veggies, and now it's time for the chicken. And all I'm going to do is just run my knife down there, pull the chicken off. Hot, 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 hot. And the same with the other one. Just run my knife down here, chop it off. There you go. And there we have it. There we have Spanish style chicken. So let's have a look and see what it's like, shall we? Can't wait for this. Yes, I love chicken. Right, so let's find a piece. Here's a piece here. And try just the chicken by itself, spiced if you remember, with only 3 spices and some salt. Let's see what it's like. Oh, yes, slightly salty, which is the way I want it, full of flavour, tender as a lover's kiss on a first day. Okay, let's go to the front and load a spud up. These ought to look familiar. Now, I haven't made a mojo. I probably should have done. A bit of onion, a bit of mushroom, bit of the spud, and let's have a bit of the chicken, and we'll stick it all in. There's the spoonful. So let's see what that's like as a dish. I think, couldn't swear to it, but I think my darling wife is going to thoroughly enjoy the Canarian potatoes, the veggies and the chicken. That amount of salt in the water was just right. And if you look at the spud, I don't know whether it'll focus, I hope it will, you can see the remains or the remnants or whatever, the salt that's been left on the potato by the water boiling dry, and I can tell you that the internals of it are so tender. The skin's that little bit wrinkly and it's just gorgeous in the mouth. Yes. If you do your spuds this way, you get that hit of salt, a little bit of skin, and then that lovely tender flesh that just melts on the palate. And it's a lovely, lovely way to do spuds. And obviously the veggies are the veggies are the veggies are the veggies. If you do them the way I've done them, covering them with a lid with more than enough oil in, don't let the mushrooms go down onto the bottom, and they come out looking like this. Again, I'll try and see if I can get it there and get it focused. There you are, look. So you don't lose colour, and you get the lovely flavour of the mushroom with that onion running through it and a little bit of pepper. It's gorgeous. So if you've found this useful, if you've enjoyed it, leave us a big thumbs up down below there, down there where the comments go. You can click like, subscribe if you'd like to. Do leave a comment, tell me what you think of this recipe. It's dead easy. What is it? An hour from start to finish, or in my case 2 gins. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Until then, keep the charcoal burning, right? Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you next time in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.